we didn't get to this yesterday, and I want to talk about it today. The Kings from ESPN got a D+ in ESPN's off-season grades. A curious offseason, this is quoting ESPN, I believe it's Kevin Pelton. A curious offseason didn't seem to move the Kings closer to a playoff return. Here's what I want to do, James, because I know you have some quibbles with this write-up. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to go line by line, and we'll just kind of break this down for the reason the Kings received a D+ for their offseason from the worldwide leader in Sprots, ESPN. My account decided to sign out, so I had to re-sign in. And so now I'm vamping while this page loads because apparently it's really hard to open a Google Doc. There we go. All right. Quote, a curious offseason didn't seem to move the Kings closer to a playoff return. All good with that?
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Shout out to I think Kevin Pelton. Can you look up who wrote this?
I'm on it.
Thanks. All right. I thought I put the name at the end of it, and I did not. Prioritizing point guard after trading De'Aaron Fox in February was reasonable, but Sacramento gave Dennis Schroeder a 3-year, $45 million deal that might not age well, given Schroeder's reliance on quickness.
Okay, so again, I've been on the record here saying that it doesn't move the needle, that, it status quo type point guard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 2-year deal with the third option being a team option with a buyout of like a little over $4 million.
No,
I don't think Dennis Schroeder is going to lose his quickness in 2 seasons.
And if he does, that's not gonna. It doesn't change anything for me.
Okay.
If we watch Dennis Schroeder this year, we're like, it kind of seems like he's lost a step. All right. It doesn't change anything. For me.
No.
Next sentence. That deal, meaning the Schroeder deal, forced the Kings to swap Jonas Valanciunas for Dario Saric, who barely played last season, to stay out of the luxury tax.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you can say that, but also the Kings they dropped the money to get lower under the luxury tax, and there's a reason why they like Drew Eubanks as like they think he can get out and move on the break. They want it to be more of a up-tempo thing off the bench, and that's not Jonas Valanciunas.
Right.
And
they
like
needed the Shaq of Troutdale.
They needed the Shaq of Troutdale, not like the Ultimate Warrior from Lithuania.
That's what we're calling him now.
Yeah. Like for me, like you downgraded the position without any question. But it was a true salary dump, but a salary dump in order to go and make other moves. And those other moves might not move the needle for anybody, but they include, things like signing Doug McDermott and things like bringing in Drew Eubanks.
Right.
So,
next sentence. Sacramento might have been better off targeting a point guard on a cheaper deal, such as Trey Jones, or letting Valanciunas leave for a reported offer from Greek power Olympiacos and getting out of his deal altogether. I want to separate that into two things. On the first part, I agree, actually.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think if you could have gotten I know it doesn't in real dollars come to $15 million annually, but if you were going to dish out $15 million annually to a point guard, I think you could have gotten 2 cheaper point guards for that price.
No, I totally agree with that statement. I also, like, if I'm going to sit here and tell people that the reason why you would trade Malik Monk and sign Russell Westbrook is because it clears up $14 million in cap space, I can't say the opposite. Like Dennis Schroeder at $14 million versus Trey Jones at $3.4 million, or even if you gave him a 2-year, $10 million deal, like that's a huge disparity in money.
Makes more sense, yeah.
That's a lot of money that, going out the door for a guy who may or may not move the needle versus, but like, I don't think that there's a huge difference between a Dennis Schroeder type and one of the Jones brothers.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Tyus or Trey.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Did you get any? I want to get to the Valanciunas part of this because he basically says they should have just let Valanciunas walk instead of trading him. Was there any indication that he was going to just leave to Greece?
No.
Well, he was in Sacramento.
No, and like, look, the deal was held up forever because the Nuggets had a bunch of other trades that they had to do, like in order. We've always talked about this. There's
Right.
like a sequential order that you have to do things in
Mhm.
specifically in order to retain your cap flexibility. I am surprised that the Kings didn't say, "Hey, are you like, do you not want to be here? Do you want to go to Greece? And what is that going to cost?" I have a feeling that Valanciunas wanted out of his deal, but wasn't willing to take zero. Because if not, like, it doesn't make any sense. If you could have a guy walk away from 10.5 million versus trading for a $5.5 million player and saving 5 million, it would have made more sense to just let him walk. So I'm gonna guess that this is not like a Sasha Vezenkov thing. This is like, hey, he's willing to walk away, but he probably wants like half the money or something.
Right.
And so it was like negligible what you were giving up versus what was going out the door.
Sure. I have a hard time with this because the Kings get a D+. The draft was not mentioned. And I think in a vacuum, if you're doing grades based on did this team take steps to get closer to a championship, then I think a D+ is about right. If that's the context that you're viewing the Kings offseason through, I have a hard time quibbling with that.
I feel like the write-up was a little surface level, but for the grade itself, yeah, I don't disagree with it.
But at the same time, I would ask, and I would ask Kevin Pelton this if he was sitting right here. What could they have done? Like if they had signed Trey Jones instead of Dennis Schroeder, are we looking at a C? Are we looking at a B-?
No.
Right. If they had let Jonas Valanciunas walk and bought him out for $5 million. And so like you said, the salary difference is negligible. Is the grade different? Like, I think the Kings were just kind of in a spot this offseason where there weren't a lot of ways that they were going to go.
Yeah.
Outside of making some massive trade that we were going to go, wow, A+ offseason for the Kings.
So do you think they deserve an incomplete?
No.
Because I think, like, looking at it, like, I agree with you. Like, they kind of had their hands tied, but also, like, yeah, you didn't really take any steps anywhere.
That's why I think context matters.
Yeah.
I also, I mean, because we live here in the Sacramento area and I covered the Sacramento Kings. That's what I've done forever. I think we always look at like, oh, draft picks. Oh, look how good they did in summer league and stuff like that. Like, look, Nick Clifford's a 24th pick in the draft. Maxime Reynaud is a 42nd pick in the draft. Like, you cannot pin your hopes to your improvement on them this season.
It's a great point.
And so I understand not mentioning them because a standard 24th pick in the draft may or may not like ever be in the rotation.
Totally.
Like that happens all the time where guys are never in the rotation. Now, Nick Clifford looks like he's better. He probably should have mentioned in there, Nick Clifford is coming off a very strong summer league and looks like they may have found a player better than his draft slot. But at the same time, like, I don't think that changes your grade all that much either. Like maybe he gives you a rotational player, maybe he gives you a starter moving forward, but we're 2 years from that or a year from that, or maybe 6 months from being able to see if he can be a starter. But still, it's a ways away.
So Pelton said, quote, "My grades aren't just about how much teams improved or declined, but more on how well they used the tools at their disposal, with a focus on free agency and trades because the outcome of the draft is more difficult to predict."
Okay, so that makes sense then because that's where he's dinging them for the Schroeder trade. But at the same time, what has Dennis Schroeder made like almost every year of his career? Right around 13, 14 million bucks. He's had to go back to the minimum here and there because of like some very poor decisions when it came to whether he should accept the money the Lakers were offering him. But this is a player who, the Kings didn't grossly overpay for Schroeder. I just would wonder, like, who were you competing against?
Right.
That's
only one team got an F for what it's worth. It was the New Orleans Pelicans.
Well, and they got that for the draft. So even though he says I don't ding people for the draft,
I think it's the most lopsided. Their draft night swap was seemingly the most lopsided transaction of the summer.
Yeah.
Far too risky to be sensible. Betting on Jordan Poole being a playoff caliber starting point guard. It has overloaded its depth chart at center by drafting Derek Queen and signing Kevon Looney. Just 3 West teams have longer odds of winning the conference at ESPN Bet, and the Pelicans traded away their safety net now that they no longer control their own 2026 first-round pick. Here's my question. The Warriors got an incomplete. Is that better or worse than getting a D or an F?
Feels lazy. I mean, it's just it's nothing.
So I took it literally because I did not read the write-up, but my guess is having merely added a pair of picks in the 50s, the Warriors are impossible to evaluate until they figure out the status of restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga.
So it's an F until then.
To me, so you could say they failed to either trade or sign their restricted free agent, therefore, and that's holding up their other deals. So they failed. To me, I took it as literal because in college, or maybe in high school too, but I know in college, an incomplete is like you did so little work, you don't even get a grade. You were in the class long enough to not be able to drop it, but then you did so little coursework that I'm not even going to fail you because you didn't do enough to earn a grade. So that to me is...
though, and in the incomplete, you're allowed to make up. It's usually when you have like a big paper that was a mandatory paper for the class or something, and they're saying you have an incomplete now, and they might give you 3 weeks to make it up.
Oh, really? I was always under the impression once you got that I, it's like you can take the class again.
No. You can go back typically and turn in something that changes. Like they give you an incomplete because you didn't do something that was mandatory in the course. And so I get the incomplete because I'm looking at the Warriors and I'm like, okay, they have all of these deals that they're, the Al Horford deal, the
Anthony Melton
and Seth Curry probably. Like those are C- work, right? Like in the grand scheme of the NBA, if you go out there, if they add those 3 pieces, if I'm going to grade their offseason, Al Horford is what, 38? Yeah. Melton is coming off a torn ACL. Okay. And Seth Curry is like 33.
Yeah.
And is okay productivity wise, but
Al Horford helps at center.
Yep.
Which they needed for sure.
Yeah, but he's replacing Looney who left.
Yeah.
Same production.
I'm trying to agree with you.
Yeah.
Let me talk. Al Horford helps at center. But to your point, a little. And then DeAnthony Melton is if he's healthy, okay, he's fine as a point of attack defender. Okay, shooter. But what does he look like coming off another major injury? And Seth Curry is a good shooter, not going to create a ton. Like all of the context to me of the Warriors offseason is, okay, they're in the playoffs. Steph Curry goes down for a series. Can they survive or nah? And to your point, Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Seth Curry, assuming they're on the team, like, are you better? Sure. But are you closer to winning a title? Probably not.
No.
What'd you say, C-?
C-, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth Curry is almost
fine.
35. Man, that makes me feel old.
Crazy.
I remember watching.
That's so crazy.
I remember when George Karl, all the way back in 2015-16, made the bold proclamation that, yeah, Seth Curry's a nice little player. He might be in the league for a year or two. That was a long time.
And then DeMarcus dunked on him?
That was a decade ago.
Dunked on...
Yeah.
George Karl, not Seth Curry.
Yeah. He went at him.
Seth Curry's had a great career.
I mean, he led the league in 3-point percentage last year.
Seth Curry has had a really nice career.
Yeah, for a guy who had to fight his way into the league. Yeah.
Man, salute.
A career 433, 43.3% 3-point shooter.
Wow.
Led the league last year, 45.6. The year before, he wasn't very good.
45.6.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Injuries and everything else have he is what he is. He's a quality player when
he's fine.
When you need to fill in.
Made about $50 million in the league. It's pretty good.
He'll compete with Buddy Hield for minutes.
Probably take Buddy Hield's minutes.
Yeah, it's possible. It'll be fun to watch the brothers play.
Are you worried that Seth Curry is going to dribble the ball off his knee and then jump out of nowhere in the lane and throw a pass to the wrong team?
No.
I'm much less concerned about
For
that
his
with Steph
career,
Curry.
he averages 1 turnover per game.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't do anything else, but
Yeah.
he has a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for his career. Literally.